information as well to go back to this, but I'll go ahead and record today's class, and then you have it, and you can go back and be like, "Oh, that Mr. Foss, he's so hilarious and so poignant. I just want to watch his lecture again." All right. Let me share my screen. All right. So there's a bit going on right now, but after this week, it'll kind of be too, I don't want to say slow, but we're going to go through these job interviews, and we can only do one person at a time, and I'd rather it be one on one than in a group. So it's going to slow things down a little bit. So I want to make sure we're caught up. And once we get done with this, we're moving into our persuasive essays. Those are going to be large when it comes to points and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to get some of this stuff done because I know it's getting near midterms. Some of you are probably overwhelmed and things like that. So it's going to be a little bit busier of a week this week, and then it'll calm down. You'll have a little bit of 2 weeks where you can focus a little bit on other classes. But anyway, for tonight, what I would like you to do is watch this lecture right here, job interview lecture. Not very long. I don't have a quiz necessarily with this. I'm kind of going off of the honor system that you're watching it. So just make sure you do. I have probably, 40 students between the two sections. So when the analytics show me like 6 people watched it, it gets disconcerting because I want you to do well at job interviews. I know what they're like. They can be really tough. They can be stressful. And so now is a good time to practice them. I might have asked before, has anybody here ever interviewed for a job?
I
And what was the process like for you? Was it a good experience, bad experience, somewhere in the middle?
somewhere in the middle because I was prepared. Like my school, it taught us what to encounter and what questions to what questions they'll ask. So I was pretty prepared for it.
That's good. Yeah, so prep definitely helps. And I think considering some of the things that you'll get a chance to read and review and things like that, you'll feel even better. So we have some readings in here. I don't these you don't need to do tonight, but I would say by tomorrow, Thursday, somewhere in there. None of them are very long. Some are links. Some are just short articles and things like that. You'll have your chapter 5 reading. Kind of going along with the reading is the quiz. And I pushed it back. It was supposed to be due this Friday, but I didn't want to just overwhelm everybody. So I moved it to next Friday so you have a little bit more time. But if you want to get it done ahead of time, go for it. You could multiple attempts on it and just get your best score possible. So kind of once we get a chance to, you watch the job interview lecture and incorporate some of the teachings from that, look at these. We're going to have this mock job interview starting on the 11th. I know I have the 10th here, but you have 2 assignments that'll be due before you interview. The first is to make a basic resume and then an outline indicating the name of position, job you want, and I'll show you kind of what I'm wanting over here that goes along with this. So you'll have how to make a resume. This is a nice, easy one to go off of, just things, tips, stuff like that. It's just a one sheet. You don't want to make it more than one page. And then here's a Word doc that you can the guy who did the video put basically a template resume that you can just swap out your information for on here if you want to save time. But you can also look around, just Google resumes, and you can probably find a template. As for the outline, Okay. So you don't have to follow this template, but you can if you want. So just your job title, and then with this, just remember part of how I'm going to be grading you or is a lot of stuff we've already covered. Are you speaking clearly? Are you looking directly in the camera? Are there a lot of whatever? And then you're going to learn about this acronym, this SOLAR. So squarely face, open posture, lean in, eye contact, relaxed body. Some of it that you're going to learn is sort of self-explanatory stuff. Some of it's a little.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Um, the homework for later that talk about the alter ego video. Where can I watch it?
I'm going to go through that right now.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So let me. Um, but basically, you're going to use this, put out the job that you want, and kind of how the script is going to go. I will call you on Teams. I have a list kind of made out when you'll go. Um, I will. I think that'll be easier. I'll call you, and we're going to kind of treat it like a real interview. So you can greet, say your name. I'll be looking at this while I interview you. That's kind of why I need it, so I know what position you're going for. And I'll open your resume and stuff like that. And I'm going to say, first of all, tell me about yourself. I want you to talk for 1 to 2 minutes about yourself, just who you are, where you come from, what your interests are. This is where you really want to get whoever's interviewing you interested in you, because a lot of people are really taking personality into account. And you could have the best resume ever, but kind of might come across as uninviting or a little cold or standoffish or something right now, in the process. So you kind of want to be really get their attention, let them know who you are, what you're passionate about, what your interests are, but keep it, don't ramble for like 20 minutes. Like you're going to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 10 minutes to do your best on this. So just 1 to 2 minutes about yourself. And then I'll ask, so why should we hire you? And this is where you'll have prepared. Now, you're not reading your notes. You're preparing this ahead of time so that you're just talking to me. So it's like a conversation. But you can discuss these things: skills, experience, education, doing some research on the company, finding out what their needs are. It's kind of something I do when I am applying for a job. I'll look at the mission statement and see, okay, this is what this company's about. What are strengths that you could bring to the company? And then maybe a story that kind of puts you in their mind of why you would be good at this. So, I could tell a story about how my senior year of high school, I homeschooled so I could go work on a film that was coming to town if I'm applying for a film job, something like that. Or maybe different people I've worked with, something that like lets them know like, oh, this guy is interesting because of this, or this guy has experiences. So you can use these as jumping off points. Again, 2 to 3 minutes, time yourself, practice it. It doesn't have to be more than that. And then I'm going to ask you something specific about the job, depending on if we've gone way over. I might ask you like, why exactly do you want to be an engineer, or what made it so you wanted to be a literature teacher? And you won't know what that is, and so it's a little bit about responding impromptu. Just we're going to work on that Thursday. And so this is how this speech is going to go. And I will be honest, I actually really like the fact we are online for it, because I probably have interviewed, I'd say like, it's probably been 10 years since I interviewed in person, at least for the first round. Like some jobs, you do one round of interviews with like multiple people. There could be 5 or 6 or 7 people, and then they'll invite you to come to the company and meet you in person. But it kind of always starts with these online things. It's just, I think it saves the company time and effort and energy. And there's something really awkward about interviewing someone anyway. I know with my company, I've just hired friends, so it's like I know them, and I'm more likely to hire somebody that I'm going to want to be on set for like 16 hours a day for 6 days a week. who may, on the scale of qualifications, not have as much as someone else, but they have an enjoyable, a little bit better personality to want to be around. So presenting yourself as likable, definitely important. But between my lecture that you'll watch and then in here, I think you'll come up with some good tips for the interview. Again, this is where you'll upload that resume and that outline. You can see here too when you go on. You can look at what the criteria on the rubric is. Were you prepared? Did you have it outlined? What is your appearance like? Did you dress to get a job? Kind of, we've talked about that before. Presenting, I'm business casual is fine. Like, you don't need to go out and get a tux or anything, but presenting yourself for the job you want. Did you have a good introduction in the beginning? Did you answer the questions appropriately, especially the why should I hire you? Do you kind of persuade me as to why you would be good? We won't worry about screen sharing because I just don't think there's time for you to show me your resume and go through it. The delivery, are you reading notes or are you talking to me just extemporaneously? Or are we just having a conversation? And then the delivery, are you using that solar, that those different things that you'll learn about how to make sure you're looking in the camera, you're squarely facing, you're leaning in, all of that stuff. Are you using eye contact appropriately? I know, like, sometimes it's more tempting to look at the person than the camera, but you kind of have to maintain that look in the camera. And can you be heard and understood? Is your room? I would get somewhere where you're going to have a good signal and is going to be quiet. And that's essentially how I'll be grading you. You guys probably know me by now. I'm pretty nice when it comes to grading because I know this isn't this is a good way to get some good practice in. So I know if you've put any effort in there, and I'm going to be a little bit, as nice as I am, I got to be a little bit tougher on this grading, but I don't want you to panic or worry about it. I think you're going to do great. If you're just yourself and you prep ahead of time, you will be fine. Here's a sample outline of this. Why should we hire you? For you to look at what another student had done in the past. What are the skills listed at the job ad? So you can actually look up an actual job that's out there if you want to go the extra step, but you can just kind of make up what you want to do as well. But what are the general skills a company would look for? What skills, experience, education do you have that match a list? They wrote what they got there. What do you know about the company? What are the challenges they face? Blah, blah, blah. So this is basically somebody who's done it before that you can kind of look and see how they outlined it specifically for the question of why should we hire you, which I'm going to expect you to talk for 2 to 3 minutes on that. On here, you'll find the schedule for when you're going to be going. I kind of swapped it so those who were first last time will be last, and it's kind of how I'll do speeches. But you can see starting on the 11th, I have a time here, and so this doesn't necessarily mean we're going to start right at that time. I haven't done this before, so I'm going to try and be as close to this as I can. But I would say be by your iPad, laptop, whatever, with Teams up and going around this time. And I'm going to call you from Teams and just see if for some reason that way is not working. Thankfully, since you're the second class of the day, I will let you know how we're going to do it. The other thing might be I'll send these people an invite, and you'll just wait in the lobby, and we'll just go, one by one that way. But there's something about the spontaneity of getting a call and jumping online that I think will make it a little more lifelike. But you can look and see when you're going. As you can see, we're kind of going into 2 weeks with it. But it will give you time to catch up on other classes. And I'm going to have you start outlining your persuasive speech. So you'll have something to do. But I know there's probably bigger fish for you to fry in other classes as far as prepping for midterms and things like that. there is a job interview extra credit. So I actually got an email today from the school that I will award fixed 50 extra credit points towards your assignment category. So it'll be weighted to that. So if you've missed a lot of assignments, here's a good way to make up quite a few with 50 points. Basically, you're just going to go, you'll email Andrea Cooper, and there's 3 different times where you can go and actually do an interview. And I mean, it's 8 to 4, 8 to 4, 8 to 4. So you can pick a time and they will kind of rate you. And so again, it'll be good practice. You'll get good tips. And the form that they give you, just send me a picture of it that shows you were there. But I'll give you 50 extra credit points if you're able to do it. So any questions on the job interview stuff so far? Kind of making sense. I know it's a lot to throw at you at once. And sometimes I look at this, I'm like, this module is getting so populated, I need to start breaking them up. But does this make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right, good enough.
Yes.
Good deal, good deal. All right, so we had a question down here. So for tonight, if you click on a video or anything, I don't know why. Oh, well, here's your question. Americus, was that you asking? Here's the alter ego link. So
Yes.
right there, you'll just click on it and boom, you are set. The assignment for tonight, 10 points. There's 2 little videos to watch. What are the 10 tips for online interviews? And then what is your reaction to the video on the alter ego? So it's kind of interesting. My dad actually sent me this video because I was telling him about teaching public speaking. This is the first time I've ever taught it. And he was talking about this. It's basically a recap of a book of different celebrities who create an alter ego to overcome their nervousness. And it's a pretty interesting concept. I don't want to give too much away because I'll have you watch it, but it might help. It's basically putting on the persona of someone else in times when you're nervous. So I become this person who is very confident and articulate and does really well at public speaking. And slowly you start to see those traits kind of going through you. And what it is it's already in you. That confidence is already in you, but you're able to kind of put it through the guise of someone else. So it's kind of interesting. It's not very long, and it might mean nothing to you, and you might think it's stupid. But if it's something that can help somebody out, or if there's something you're able to take away from it, then I think that's a pretty good thing, and it's well worth your time. So you'll have that tonight, and then the other video, online interview tips. Pretty good, kind of your standard list of, this tip. We've gone over some, but there's some worth considering and implementing for when you do your interviews. Because my big thing is for you to take what you've learned and apply it out in the real world. Because unless you or come from extreme wealth or something somewhere that you don't ever have to work, you're going to probably have a job interview of some kind at some point. And it'll be good to feel confident going in and know that you have that experience ahead of time. And then this you might find interesting as well. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you ever get to a screen and it does this, don't know why. I have no plausible explanation why it wants to do this, but some things it does. So all you do is just click the title and it will take you there. But here are, I think, 5 of the 30-second speech examples. And I only had time to get the first section and wait to get their permission back. But it'll show you, I think, some good framing, some good enthusiasm, and kind of cool, diverse topics. I thought these all turned out well. And I thought a lot from this class did as well. So I might reach out to some people and be like, hey, can I post yours as well? But as you can see, we've had 5 views, and I gave it to the last class, and there's like 30, I don't know, a lot of people in there. So you don't have to, but you might kind of see, okay, this is what Foss likens to a material. And you might pick something up, and it'd be kind of fun to watch, and it's 2 minutes of your time. So definitely tonight, watch this job interview lecture and these two videos and this assignment right here. And that will be your class for tonight. You have some homework to start working on and some reading to do. So I'm sorry it's a lot now, but like I said, the next 2 weeks will be fairly easygoing. So anyway, that's what I have for tonight, October 4th, in the year of our Lord. Does anybody, how many total do we have? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Not very many people tonight. Does anybody have any questions about the assignments tonight or the assignments coming up? No? All right, so let me stop the recording.